Do you have multiple Proxmox nodes and want an easy to manage single pane of glass to manage every single one of those VMs or those Proxmox hosts? Well, Proxmox has released the beta version of its Data Center Manager this month. Let's get into it, see where things started when the alpha released, where they're at now, and where they are headed into the future. Hey there folks, Zach Berry here again with another 45 HomeLab video. Today we're diving into the beta release of the Proxmox Data Center Manager, and this is something that I've been closely following as someone who tests Proxmox clusters extensively for various uses. It's always a pain to have multiple tabs open or add them in some sort of remote desktop manager, and it's one of the few things that VMware has over Proxmox, in my humble opinion, with its single pane of glass tool, vCenter. The alpha version was released December 19th, 2024, and the beta around 8 months later on September 11th, 2025. And we won't spend too much time on the alpha. I actually had to use the Wayback Machine to get an ISO of it, but it was pretty fleshed out for an alpha, I'll say that, and what I want to focus on is the latest and greatest that's in the beta. So some of the high-level stuff that is included with this release, it's based on Debian Trixie, just like Proxmox 9, EVPN for network-defined storage for different Proxmox clusters. Has improved search functionality to find resources quicker, so things like filtering by resource type, status, and more. Metrics are now collected concurrently, and it allows for managing the permissions of Proxmox Data Center Manager users within that instance. And you can see the full change log here, or wherever. One thing we'll do during the video, though, is showing the process that Proxmox details on how to update from the alpha to the beta build and go through the process of adding remotes to it. Now, there were a few improvements between the alpha and the beta. From a dashboard standpoint, adding remotes is easier by detecting the fingerprint, more detailed readings on tasks and SDN, and quite a few more things. Now, when it comes to the future updates within the roadmap, this includes plans like integration of other projects like Proxmox Backup Server and Proxmox Mail Gateway, allow more options for migrations, fully featured SDN integration, further simplifying the process to add remotes. So today for this, we're going to be using our HL15 Beast and go through the process of upgrading from the alpha version to the beta version. Definitely the thing that I want to highlight this beastly machine for is a simple update for an alpha to a beta version, but let's go into that process now. All right, so before we go through the whole process of updating from the alpha to the beta, I thought I'd highlight the process, or what it actually looks like when the alpha was released to what the beta looks like now. Now, it's not a ton of differences, but there are some quality of life improvements. As you can see, the SDN feature is in the beta here. We have a few more things within the dashboard itself. So we have task summary by category, task summary sorted by failed task, and SDN zone. So fleshes this out just a little bit more here. If we're going to add our Proxmox remotes, that process mentioned, it auto-detects the fingerprints on the beta. So from an actual level of viewing the dashboard and everything, not too much has changed. It's more under the hood sort of things, but let's go through the process now and see what that looks like. So, all right, so we have our Proxmox Data Center Manager roadmap article here, and it actually highlights the process of updating the alpha to the beta version. So let's see what that looks like here, because I've actually haven't done that myself yet. So hopefully this goes through just in one fell swoop. So let's see, prerequisites, let's see, make a backup here, perform the actions by SSH, okay. Now, mind you, if you are going to be doing this to something that isn't a test environment, don't just gloss over it like I'm doing, actually read it step for step. But with that said, let's do the PDM A to 8, or A to B, can't read any glasses, I guess, process here. So let's go here, and let's see if it has that right away. So PDM, yeah, so that's why you read beforehand. So let me go and actually grab that. So in place upgrade, okay, repositories. Oh, classic, probably just need to do a good old apt update. 125 packages, yep. Apt upgrade -y. All right, so now all we have to do is run our PDM A to B. I keep wanting to say PVE 8 to 9. So let's run that now. And up. All right, so very similar to the PVE 8 to 9 check. So does some miscellaneous checks for updates, which we just did, the running kernel. So we have one warning. Systemd boot package installed on legacy boot system is not necessary. Consider removing it. So not the end of the world there. So let's go back over here and let's go to app-dist upgrade. So update the configured app repositories, app-dist upgrade. We'll do that now. All installed. Okay, everything's done there. Quick sanity check and let's make sure that everything looks good. Yep, perfect. So now actually let's go down. Ensure repository archive keyring is installed. Should be good there. Use Debian-based repositories to Trixie. And let's see, base repository. All right. So that is now going to Trixie. And now let's add the Data Center Manager beta package repository. So we're just going to copy this whole thing here and it's just going to output its contents to a file for us. Paste. There we go. And then if we do apt update again, update to actually have it pick up that repository that we just added. And 322 packages can be updated there. So apt update and then app-dist upgrade. Okay. And we'll let that go through, but since this is gonna download about 800 megs, 300 plus packages, we'll just leave that off to the side. And what I actually wanna show here is, so we have an in-house Proxmox cluster, hyperconverged with Ceph. This that I'm showing now is just picking up to my actual Proxmox HomeLab and a nested Proxmox instance. So there's not too much to actually show on it, unfortunately, but let's actually show something that there is quite a bit. All right, so now let's actually look what an in-production system would look like with the beta version of the Proxmox Data Center Manager. So we've already gone through the process of adding it here, but just to briefly show that process, we'll go add, we'll add in our IP here, 168, and we'll give it the port, and it'll automatically pick up that fingerprint. And this stuff here that it shows, I'll get you to blur this out, Joe.
Just highlight them.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be the stuff right before I get to settings here. So let me just, yeah, there we go. All right. So for remote ID, we would just put in our, what we want to call it. So in this case, we called it support prox. Our user would be the user on the other system there. On our Proxmox nodes or cluster, the password, what realm we're using, an API token, our endpoints. So one thing that was nice, it actually did pick up those endpoints there. Won't show it here because it won't go through anyways because we already have it added. And then there's just a summary showing that they are, what it's going to be adding here. So we have our remotes here on our dashboard, can reach all of them, 3 nodes online. We can see all of our running virtual machines, how many are stopped, how many templates we have, and how many altogether. And then our containers as well. So you can see we don't use too many containers here for our VM infrastructure, mainly for testing purposes, things like that, our subscription status. And then we can actually get quite a bit of information on all of the guests that we have with the highest CPU usage, which nodes have the highest CPU. Now, mind you, we only have 3, so not too hard to view that here. Same thing with memory usage. And then our task summary by the last 48 hours. Failed tasks, so no failed tasks, that's good. SDN zone, we have no errors, so that's all good there. Now, let's take a look at SDN. So we can see our local network, we can see any test networks that we've made, and we can actually go to the actual nodes and their SDN page just from a simple click here. And then with the remote, so we can add more here, or we can look at our support prox. So this is going to have all 3 of our Proxmox nodes. And we can see kind of our usage overall for everything. We can see our host memory used, host storage used. Let's see now. So we can see our CPU usage, server load, memory usage at a glance here. What's going on with each of our VMs, and we can actually start, stop. We can migrate them actually. So let's see here. Let's take our 1, 2, 3. So support prox, target node, we'll move that over to 2, migrate, and we'll go through that process. So it'll start that up. So it's really giving you that single pane of glass to do a lot of things that are day-to-day within each of your Proxmox nodes without having to, go to each one of them, go to the SDN interface on each of them, so on and so forth. But it really makes it easy to do that whole process. So that's about it. Nothing really earth-shattering, and it's still very early in this project development to put it into any sort of production environment as a fully stable product, but I'm very excited to see where this goes in the coming months and years, and to see how it stands up to feature wise to VMware's vCenter. So what'd you think? Have you used the alpha or beta? What do you hope they include in future releases? If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, check out our store at store.45homelab.com to see what we have on offer, and a forum for more of a deep dive into HomeLab content from us and our community. And lastly, socials in the description below. I'm Zach Perry. See you in the next one. Man, I haven't heard Rob Bailey in a while.